it's Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for June 2022. So on Monday, maybe Tuesday for some people, depending on where it is that you're at in the world, the 27th, 28th, we have Neptune, the planet of dreams and spirituality, creativity, our higher selves, intuition, going retrograde, joining the other heavy-hitting planets in a retrograde for the next couple of months. So Neptune is in its place of power in Piscean energy. Pisces energy is a water sign. It is the ending of the zodiac water sign, meaning we are bringing things full circle. We are bringing things to an end, to a closure point. We are definitely checking out of the physical realm, moving into the higher realms of intelligence, of intuition, of higher self, to really kind of see where the spiritual lessons in our physical circumstances are alive and well. So, Neptune being an outer planet means that we're not going to feel this as intensely, if you will, if it was an inner planet, such as Mercury, Mars, or Venus. Still, this is a quote-unquote collective lesson. The Neptune energy is very much about everything in the cosmos, knowing that it's all connected, understanding the spiritual lessons that we have to go through in order to peel back the layers of our existence, where it is that we can enlighten ourselves, become a little bit more aware, where it is that we can kind of unpack some of our unconscious thoughts, behaviors, memories, desires, dreams. So we are going to have a lot going on. I want to break down for you the pattern that Neptune actually goes through. First of all, it's like Neptune takes like 165 years to go full circle through all the zodiac signs. Neptune actually takes 14 years to go through each sign. So back in 2011, Neptune first entered Pisces, where it will continue to stay until 2026. Now, we're used to having Neptune go retrograde mostly for like a 5-month span. The outer planets tend to all kind of retrograde at the same time, giving us a chunk of time, normally between spring and fall. We definitely see those summer months where most of the heavy-hitting planets are in a retrograde. Again, this is a collective lesson. And for many of us, we've been going through it, especially since the Great Awakening took place a couple of years ago. And the spiritual lessons are coming in hot. They're coming in fast. So to rewind, I guess, let's go back to March 7th, to be very particular. That's when Neptune first entered into its retrograde shadow period at 22 degrees, a master number. It's very important to kind of signify. So we are kind of reflecting right now over all that has transpired since March. So we have Neptune now going retrograde at 25 degrees in Pisces. Again, it's a very slow moving planet. So it's going to take from now here in June to December before it is going to get back to that 22 degrees that it first entered into its retrograde shadow period on in March. That is when Neptune will go direct on December 3rd of 2022 at 22 degrees, another master number. We will see Neptune leave this retrograde shadow period, this post-shadow period, if you will, March 24th of 2023, and of course, it will be at 25 degrees. So that's how low and slow these outer planets go. And we can expect over this next little period of time to have a lot more psychic abilities, let's say, dreamlike content, let's say, insight, intuition. We're going to be a lot more receptive to the subtle energies of the universe, of the cosmos, than we have been experiencing. And for some of my light worker friends out there that have been going through constant upgrades in their skills and abilities, we're like, whoa, how can it get any more intense? This is a time of refinement. So we have to definitely be a little bit more consciously aware of the information coming in from higher forms of intelligence. We are essentially speaking, kind of saying to our egoic selves, okay, I know that logic and practicality is kind of your wheelhouse, but I feel this gut reaction. I feel that there's cryptic messages in my dreams. I feel that I'm seeing these synchronicities, these validation points for a reason. We're much more open to the metaphysical realm, to the spiritual realm. And so now we're going to start taking hints and cues from our, let's call it our energy realm, and learn how to integrate that, work with that in our physical circumstances. So when Neptune goes retrograde, I like to call it the time where essentially the universe slaps the rose-colored glasses off of our face, and we have to kind of, deal with life. We have to keep in mind that Neptune and Piscean energy is the escape artist of the zodiac. We like to run and hide from the details of our reality. We like to numb ourselves from the feelings, from the experiences of this physical realm. We would love to just live in la la land, where we can paint a light, fluffy picture for ourselves, where we can be happy living in an imaginary vision or dream and not connect so easily, I would say, to this physical realm. And you know what? The energies are heavy. The physical realm, this earth plane, isn't so happy-go-lucky right now. So many of us would prefer to live in our heads or would prefer to live in La La Land. But Neptune's going retrograde. We have to deal with life. We have to deal with the matter of facts. And in doing so, with the receptivity of our, let's call it, sixth sense being high, we're able to see life from a different perspective. We're able to intuit different messages, different understandings or perceptions, but we have to be present in the here and now in order to actually see life as it is, using our extrasensory senses in order to bring in different information, perspective, and understanding about what it is that we're currently going through. So this may be a time, and of course, we're in an experimental phase right now since the solstice popped off up until the Lionsgate portal on 8/8, where we're trying new things. We're opening up our heart space. We're opening up our head space. We're putting ourselves out there in different ways. We're trying new things as far as, respecting ourselves, taking care of ourselves. We are kind of rearranging our home, our family unit, how it is that we interact with the people in our lives. We are, looking to kind of recreate our, let's call it, financial situation where we might be open to taking on a new job or a side hustle. We are trying to experiment with becoming a little bit more, I would say, abundant in our income, in our resources. We are looking to be a little bit more self-sufficient in our lives. There's a lot going on just on the collective global stage here, but this is a time where we may have to put our dreams that we've been looking to manifest on the back burner just a tad. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to see great opportunities arise in order to advance our agendas. What it does mean, though, is that we might see that roll slowed up just a tad because we have to focus on the here and now. Many of us are so eager to jump into something new that we haven't cleaned up the mess of the past nor the present situation that still has lingering topics and themes that are really going to, I would say, create roadblocks and obstacles for us to try and manifest new visions, new dreams, new goals. So it's a little bit of a frustrating time because we want so badly just to get the party started and to start bringing new elements to life. But at the same time, like, our eyes are being kind of pulled wide open at this stage of the game. And now that we have to deal with the truth of the reality instead of the illusions or the fairy tales in which we've created, it's almost like a wow, like, was life always like this? Like, how did I miss this? How did I not see this before? How did I not get consumed with this topic and theme? How did I sweep this under the rug? It is very much in your face in order for us to actually deal with it. And again, underlying spiritual lessons here, in order for us to actually move on. Now, let me just say that this particular aspect, and again, this doesn't mean that this is like a permanent stamp of what we're dealing with for the next 5 months. We have to consider that there's other planets and aspects, fine tuning the energies that we have to work with. But Neptune in Pisces, especially retrograde, is not the best for making decisions and seeing things clearly. We're very vague, very wish-washy. Indecision can definitely be a thing because we feel like we're in limbo. And I just want you to kind of think of the ocean. Pisces energy, water energy, right? The ocean, it's constantly ebbing and flowing. And then, very rarely will it be a calm, reflective surface. And then maybe, it goes to choppy waves and storm-like energies. But we have to surrender to that rhythm because as we know, when you're swimming against the current, you're going absolutely nowhere. You're just exhausting yourself. And when you're out in the middle of the ocean, you have a hard time kind of figuring out your direction. You don't know which direction to swim in. Like, where is the land? Where do I find safety and stability moving in one direction over the other? We don't know where to go. We just are kind of put in a situation where we have to like float, put ourselves on our back, float, lose ourselves in the skyscape, in the clouds above, allow ourselves to connect with our sixth sense, so to speak, and use our intuition to use these navigational tools that many of us don't access all the time in order to kind of apply it to our physical realms. So for most of us, this is going to be a little bit more of an introverted time. This is a time, especially with other aspects going on in the cosmos, where we are peeling back the layers of, a new self-discovery journey. Again, this has a huge depth into our unconscious selves, the emotions, the thoughts, the memories that just kind of linger very, very closely under the surface of our awareness. We can expect our dream state, because Neptune and Pisces energy rules over our dream state, our unconscious selves. We can expect for our dream state, whether in waking state, daydream, or asleep in the astral realms, to actually give us some cryptic hints and clues on where it is that we are peeling back the layers on our own personal journey. I want you to just understand that this is a collective shift as well. And as you know, if you've been, tuning into the ascension forecast and the astro forecast, we got a lot going on in the cosmos that is creating the quote unquote shit show on the collective stage right now. And collectively speaking, we're going through a very revealing spiritual time. And individually, we're going through our own personal revealing time as well. There's going to be a lot happening. And when this shift happens, we have to look at the week prior to and the week, directly following this aspect, because the outer planets, the heavy hitting planets, they're so subtle that we can kind of just look at the week prior to the aspect, the week after the aspect, in order to see what kind of topics and themes we're actually going to be dealing with for the next 5 months. And not that I want to get into it here, because I just went and had a huge rant and rave about this in this week's Ascension forecast with some of the injustices, let's call them, popping up in the USA that, of course, is being reverberated and felt worldwide. There's a lot of injustices going on, not just with that particular, let's call it women's rights movement, but with, human rights movement all over the world with all different things. And we have to really understand that the retrograde season is meant for us to be so connected to the here and now so that we can use our intuition and our higher intelligence and guidance in order to navigate what is a very tumultuous time here as an earthling on the earth plane, and just understand the greater, grander script that is playing out, and why some of these scripts are needed, and why some of these situations need to pop off in order to create a situation that leads us to an end goal that is better for the collective, better for humanity. But when these situations happen, especially within the week prior to and post this direct aspect, we can be let down. We can be disappointed by some of the topics and themes that are coming up. And we need that disappointment in order to inspire us and motivate us, act as the catalyst in order for us to make the kinds of changes that we all want to see in the world. So although this can be a very, I want to say, challenging, spiritually challenging, I would say, time in our lives, we have other aspects that are really kind of hitting home, the lessons that we need to be learning as of right now, individually speaking and collectively speaking. And although we may start off this retrograde in a little bit more of a disappointed energy in humanity right now, it does lead us through a very interesting path of spiritual growth, so that by the time we come out of this retrograde in December with all the other aspects that are helping us fine tune this particular lesson, we will be on a brand new path. It will be very much improved. We will come up with solutions. We are using, again, our connection to the higher forms of intelligence with Neptune in Pisces. And we're definitely going to be able to trust our gut more, to trust the higher self more in order to navigate some of these very heavy earthly influences.